Hey Tita Skipuli. So this video is for all you out there looking to remediate the Chapter 2 quiz. You can go to Google Classroom and find your courses for Chapter 2. You'll notice that all the links are still active, so we're going to go through a couple of those things and review the grammar. But vocab is something you're going to have to do on your own, so please make sure you go to Quizlet and do some of that. Remember, all of these activities down here were the ones that you were supposed to use for review in the first place, so please feel free to go and review any of these activities that you may find useful. So just kind of an instructional reminder about a couple things. Let's go to your first Clowies that we did, and we're going to do this very quickly because you've already been through the whole thing, so you have an idea of what's going on. Alright, so this is about the present active and first and second conjugation. Okay, so when we talked about the facts, there are 5 conjugations, and most verbs have 4 principal parts. The first and the second one are the ones that you're concerned about. You don't have to worry about third and fourth, so just first and second. You have to know how to tell what conjugation a verb belongs to. So remember, you're taking that infinitive, the second principal part, and you're dropping the RE, and then you look at the vowel. So an A is first, E with a macron second, E without a macron is third. E without a macron, whenever you see that, you automatically know third, but you want to then think, hey, I have to look at the first principal part. If there's an IO, it's a third IO. If there's no IO, it's just a third. And then fourth is an I. Alright, so basically that's that. Here are just some examples so that you can see. The big ones to catch are, amare is first, take the infinitive, drop the RE, and A means first. When you do audire, you have an I here, so that's fourth. Now, you may have thought IO because you have audio, but that's not the case because it's not third. It has to be third in the first place. Alright, habere second because of the E with the macron, but yakio yakere is a third IO because E no macron makes it third. And then you also have the IO. Mittere is third, but it does not have the IO, so that's just the third. Okay? Alright. After you have identified its conjugation, you want to take a verb and you want to conjugate it. So the endings are OST, must, tis, NT. And what you're doing is you take the stem, so take the infinitive, drop the RE, and then you're just basically attaching the ST, must, tis, NT. So this ends up looking like amo, I love, amas, you love, amat, he, she, it loves. Amamus, we love, amatis, y'all love, and amant, they love. Alright, now with that again, just another piece of this, remember, you are picking the conjugation of the verb based on what you would replace the subject of the sentence with as far as a pronoun. So if you would replace the subject of the sentence with an I, it's first person singular. If you would replace it with a we, it's first person plural. Versus, he, she, or it is third person singular, and they would be third person plural. Okay, so that's that piece. Alright, so then we basically went through and tried some on our own. So you can feel free to do these again or play the games. But that is basically the overview again of how you conjugate. Remember, we did the ball toss, we did some whiteboards. You told me if things were first or second. And then we conjugated the verb. Feel free to actually start this presentation itself. It takes you through how to conjugate the verb and does some awesome animations for you so that you can see those. Okay, so feel free to do those. And that is conjugating verbs. The second grammar concept that we talked about was subject and verb agreement, which, basically just continues the idea. Alright, so with subject and verb agreement, this was the whole take the sentence and attach, take the verb in parentheses and make it agree. So we started by reviewing your endings, OST, must, tis, NT, and then we talked about that a verb must agree in person and number with its subject. So if the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. If the subject is you, then you have to use second person. Alright, so in the sentence, Puella fabulam narrat, the girl tells the story, Puella is third person because if you were to replace Puella in the sentence, you would find that you would have to replace it with a she. So since you're replacing Puella with she, that makes it third person. It's singular as well because there's only one girl. So therefore you're going to use narrat because that has a third person singular ending. Now, to look at the other side of this, puellae fabulas narrant, we take this sentence and we've made puellae plural. Puellae now, if you would replace this, the girls tell stories, with a pronoun, you would have to say they tell stories. So that means it's third person and plural. So we use narrant instead. Okay, then you can come back to this presentation if you want and take a look at what person and number each of these were. Remember, this is just OST, must is NT stuff. And then you can try those sentences out again if you'd like. We diagram sentences, so feel free to basically take a look at those as well again. And if you have any questions on either of these concepts or any of the games, please, please, please do not hesitate to email me. You can come talk to me during Bulldog Hour, and I will happily go over things with you. Alright, so hope this helps, and wale te discipuli.